This is a Kirkendall Barrett presentation, darling.
Dad is dead. There is a dog.
You bought strawberries. Who do you think you are?
You buy homemade bread?
What are you, QAnon?
What makes him happy?
Not being in this movie?
Not being in this movie.
A lifetime of Hallmark.
Well, hello, everybody. It is your favorite day of the week. It is time for another episode of A Lifetime of Hallmark, where we talk about movies on both Lifetime and the Hallmark channel and try to make sense of them. I am Les Kirkendall Barrett. Hello, Jason Bowers.
Hello, Les Kirkendall Barrett.
And hello, Kurt Fitzpatrick.
Hello, Les Kirkendall Barrett, and hello, Jason Bowers.
And it's another week, and it's another movie. And what can I say? This movie was set in Miami, so I thought it was going to be hot, sexy, it was just going to be good and full of passion. And I'm here to tell you that that movie had nada.
I think Kurt would beg to differ, because Kurt told us today that he has watched this movie twice now.
Look. The reason I watched this movie twice, and I did say that earlier in privacy.
Oh, sorry.
I thought there were boundaries.
There are not.
But now everyone knows that I watched this movie twice, and that's only because it's for my dedication to this podcast. There is, on occasion, I will watch a movie twice because we were going to record this last week, got delayed, so I don't want to forget one element.
What was it literally so that you could refresh, so you understood your notes when you're referring to them?
Yeah, I don't know how necessary it was for me after, in hindsight.
Yeah.
But I did appreciate more of the cooking stuff when I watched it again.
There was a lot of cooking.
I guess, yes, because I like to cook, so I enjoyed seeing some of that stuff. This movie's really boring, though.
Yeah. The movie, by the way, is South Beach Love, is a Hallmark movie.
Yeah.
See, and I thought, because the guy in this movie is really hot and really sexy. Mm-hmm. And so I thought, oh, wow, he's really kind of smoldering and sexy. Even that couldn't help this movie.
Well, they're a hot couple. The woman, there's one point she wears some outfit. I had dirty thoughts. Could hardly even, I don't know how else to express myself.
I thought she was attractive. I didn't feel like they had a total lack of chemistry. Like, we've seen worse, but I didn't think they were super electric together.
No,
but they were just they were a hot couple. I don't know. She's walking around.
I would have been electric with him. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I'd be electric with her. She's walking around these little outfits. Oh man, more of that.
He was very attractive. He's clearly some sort of Mexican soap star or something. He was really hot.
Well, he's getting away with stuff in this movie. He's getting away with being in the movie. But otherwise,
I actually Googled him.
Okay, what's his deal, Les?
I actually Googled him. He is Cuban, born in Havana.
Okay, and has he done a lot of other things?
He's done other things. What they are,
modeling,
I can tell you. Yeah. But he has an IMDb page because I looked him up on IMDb.
Did you say he was born in 1980?
Yes.
He looked amazing for 41.
Yes.
Because he looked probably 28, 29 maybe.
No,
he looks good.
No, I thought he was about 40. Looks. Yeah, but he looks good. Yeah, definitely.
And I got to tell you, and I'm throwing this out there up front.
Right.
So I watched this movie in halves because we were supposed to be watching this last week, and I was slogging through this movie. And then, we got word that we weren't going to be able to record last week, which I was like, oh my God, thank God. Because I can't make it through any more of this movie.
Oh, that's my fault. Actually, it's not my fault.
Talk about that?
Yeah, we can talk about that because it didn't happen,
okay, good.
Which really pissed me off. The reason we weren't able to record last week, I'm totally going to call out let me preface this, I'm about to call out a celebrity who may not have actually been involved in my mishap. So my place of employment, I got a call about 10 minutes before closing, and I was there by myself. And it was this guy saying, hey, we want to bring a client by so she can get something. And I said, well, we close in, 10, 20 minutes. He's like, okay, we'll be there in 10. I'm like, all right, I'll stay here. They call back 10 minutes later. Hey, I'm really sorry. We're running late. I'm not supposed to tell you who it is, but it's Rihanna. So they're like, we're definitely hitting.
You're going to be Riri?
Well, that was the story. So we're definitely coming. We're definitely coming. All right. Like, I have this other thing I need to do. Let me see if I can hold on. So that's when I was telling you guys, hey, I might be late. She's coming in. Then, still not there. It's now half an hour past closing. She's still not there. And I text the guy. I was like, hey, like, our phones are off now. Like, are you coming? This other guy gets on the phone with me. He says, oh, yeah, we're there. We're about 20 minutes away. I was like, you just told me you were 10 minutes away 3 times. So, long story short, after almost 2 hours of this, I get a call, and it's the first guy saying, I'm sorry, we're not coming now. So I was livid because I hate staying late for work, because every time I've ever agreed to stay open for someone a few minutes extra, it always shoots me in the face.
And these are like her assistants, or what is this?
Yeah.
Her staff?
Yeah, it's her staff. The reason I believe it's probably true is when you're at that level of money and success, you don't understand that because you got sidetracked doing something that it affects so many people. And I'm not saying that she's selfish. I'm just saying, like, you're just not viewing it through those lenses because you have people to do that for you.
Yeah.
This is what I bet. I bet Rihanna, and yes, Kurt, people call her Riri.
Okay. That reminds me of Rerun.
By the way, this is a pet peeve of mine. Her name is Rihanna. It's not Rihanna. She says Rihanna, so that's how it's pronounced.
Yeah, Les.
Oh, her name is Robin, first of all.
It is Robin Fenty, you're
right. I've lost track of this.
I bet she was kicking back, smoking a blunt, because she loves blunts, and she's open about it.
Mm-hmm. She's blunt about it.
Yeah, she is.
She's probably kicking back, smoking a blunt.
She's stone cold truthful.
I've always wanted a...
And she throw up? Poor woman.
Yeah. She wanted to shop for something specific that they sell at my shop.
And then her assistants probably went, oh my God, we need to get a... And then they called you.
I guess it was contagious. I couldn't name one song that she sings, but I'm sure I would recognize it.
You would recognize many, Kurt.
I'd recognize it. Now,
she has had more Billboard top 10 singles than any artist in history, including, I think, the Beatles.
Does she do that song, Nana, oh, Nana?
Yep.
Like a
what's
song,
my name?
Yeah.
And she,
Umbrella.
Ella.
Yeah. We found love. Only girl in the world.
Put it this way,
bitch better have my money.
Records anymore. I don't think, and she doesn't have to. It's not even like she felt.
Well,
she doesn't feel like it, and she doesn't have to.
It's been this like carrot and the stick with her, and like, when are you going to release a new album? And this has been going on for like 4 years.
Yeah.
Well, Lauryn Hill still hasn't put out a new album, right? Did she have like one album, and that was the end of that?
But
is she doing all right? Or should I say this? My ex-girlfriend went to high school with her. Like, they were
really
in the same high school class with Zach Braff. He was in there too, in the same class.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
That's quite the class. But so where I was going with what I was going to say is, since, I watched the rest of it today, and I'm in Palm Springs, I forgot half of my notes back in LA, so I'm definitely going to need your help.
Well, Kurt's watched the movie twice just for you. Yeah. So wait, so your notes for this movie that we're about to talk about now, you don't even have half of them.
Not to work.
No, but but here's the deal though. Normally my mind gets a little muddled, but this movie was so boring I think that I remember most of it.
Oh.
Because it was so boring. and so basic. And it was, put it this way, we've seen the storyline before and done better.
Yeah, it's not blunt. It's very soft.
No. So I'll need you guys to like chime in a lot because.
Can I very quickly defend the park ranger? Because I was thinking about this the other day. Now, we've had a previous movie, there was a park ranger, and she delivered her lines a certain way.
It was in Killer Vacation.
Yes.
This is what she sounds like. Okay.
Yeah.
That's not possible. This trail's been closed for 8 years. It's extremely dangerous.
Okay, I've given this a lot of thought. And I now believe that was good acting because she was straight to the point. She was giving directions, and she just, there was no muddling of the directions. It was a straightforward instruction.
Right.
So that's my reconsideration.
I'm even more curious than you watching this movie twice. I'm curious as to what was going on in your day where you're like, this is something in my mind I've been sitting on, and I need to really sit with this idea and think about it.
I think I was thinking about just rules, like outside, I'm talking about. Sorry, Les, I know rules would really get under your skin, but like park rules or like outdoor, forest rules. And I just thought about how they would be enforced, and that led to me thinking about the park ranger.
Like acting rules?
I just said like rules, like path rules, hiking rules, stuff like that. I don't know how I got into that, but I don't have to justify that.
Speaking of which, because that movie was set in Palm Springs, and I went on a hike.
Oh, the Killer Vacation movie?
Remember it was set in Palm Springs, because remember they went to Palm Springs and he was going to kill her because he was like she was his mistress, and they went to Palm Springs.
I do not remember them being in Palm Springs at all.
No.
They were here.
Okay.
I mean, I believe you.
In the Coachella Valley.
Okay.
Coachella. Okay. Well, there's news.
Oh, let's ask the question.
Yes, because speaking of someone who needs to be at Coachella but isn't, but she should be, do you have any Black China news?
Doing a piece of China.
China.
I'm talking China.
The Black China Report. Here's Kurt Fitzpatrick.
Now, there's a couple pieces of news for Black China, so I'm gonna report both of these. This is from hot97.com. You can bleep me if you want, but I just have to say what we have here. Now, as reported on the Jasmine brand, Blac Chyna made an unusual request to Princess Love via Instagram story. Chyna started off the exchange by saying, "Princess Love, release it or call my lawyer." I don't know what that's about. Then in another IG story post, the conversation got more sexual. Chyna said, "Please let me eat that pussy, please." Listen, I'm a journalist.
I didn't know where that was going.
Princess responded via IG story with emoji eyes. It's not clear how serious this romance is. It comes a few weeks after Ray J filed for divorce again. This is where it gets a little, I'm not sure what they're talking about. TJB points out that this is the third time this year the estranged couple filed for divorce. I don't know who they're talking about. But anyway.
Is Ray J married to this woman that Blac Chyna is
Princess
sitting
Love.
Okay. I didn't know
the Princess? All right. Okay.
And they're on Love and Hip Hop, I think.
Okay, so that's what's going on there. Now on page 6, there's a picture of Blac Chyna. She's got half her hair is red, half is blue. And so Blac Chyna's landlord will now have to pay her $58,000 in a shocking reverse decision by a California appeals court. Appellate, I've had this word before.
Yep.
Appellate.
That's right.
Court judges unanimously ruled that the trial court, which first ordered Chyna, Angela White, pay Michael Kremerman the lump sum, acted without authority in entering judgment against Chyna, as they saw she was never properly served with the summons legal documents obtained by page 6 state. The ruling also finds that Kremerman did not undertake diligent efforts to serve White, and the trial court abused its discretion when denying Chyna's request to vacate the ruling in which she was ordered to pay Kremerman. So yeah, we heard some of this before. We had heard some earlier stories.
Right,
here.
but I never heard the part about her never being summoned. So she's getting off on a technicality, basically.
Yeah, so it says that the drama between China and Kremerman first began in 2019 when he sued for $48,000, claiming she abandoned the lease 5 months early and accrued thousands of dollars in damage. In turn, she countersued, claiming Kremerman should pay her $50,000, twice her security deposit, because he was allegedly charging her rent despite the fact he sold the rental property for $4.55 million in March 2019. So that's what's happening. So she is getting money from this landlord, $58,000.
Well, okay. So first of all, I did not know that Blac Chyna is sexually fluid.
Yeah, I didn't either.
I'm all for it.
I did not.
Yeah.
Nice.
Hey, good for her. You know, she's good for her.
It's a good week for her. She's getting money from the landlord. She's sexually fluid.
Yeah.
Right.
That's all right.
Well, I mean, and isn't she? And this is good because I think isn't she basically gearing up for her big court case?
Oh, against the Kardashians, yeah.
Yeah. Because isn't that soon? Like, isn't that next month or something?
I believe it's next month. Yeah.
We're going to have plenty of stories coming out of there, so that's going to be a gold mine.
I see that one being settled out of court. That will go up to the wire and will not actually go in front of a jury.
Well, we'll get something out of it. Some stories.
And then I have a question for you, Kirk. They show a picture of her and her two-toned hair. Was it like Cruella, but red and blue?
And it's straight hair. Cruella. I guess that's the Cruella kind of hair.
Sexually fluid hair.
She's got That's not the sexually fluid, and she's wearing like a black leather coat kind of thing, and it's there's a zipper, and she's I haven't seen the red and blue hair before.
That might also be an older photo. Like if the photo is not directly related to the story and they're not doing a rundown of her outfit, it's probably a stock photo.
Yeah. Okay, so that's what's happening with Blac Chyna. Very exciting week.
All right.
Well, let's slog through this movie.
South Beach Love from Hallmark.
South Beach
Love.
Oh, actually, okay, I have another. I do have another story, really quick. I'll do the sounder. Well, I actually have two things to report. So wait.
And now,
Jason has updates. Here's me. So the first one is just a personal update regarding something we had talked about a few weeks ago. When we watched that movie, The Wrong Prince Charming, from Lifetime, I pointed out that the guy that plays the wrong Prince Charming is a bartender at a bar that I frequent. It is very close to where I live. Since we watched that movie, and I don't think I've ever had him as my bartender before, since that movie has come out, he has waited on me probably 10 times. It's just seemingly every time I've gone in there, he's the bartender that's like available to make a drink at that moment. So if you want to know where he works, just like DM me. Or maybe we said it on the show. I'm not sure. But so that was the first thing.
I've been at this place with you, Jason.
Yeah, he's there. Like the days that I tend to go, he seems to be there. So
and he's always topless, right?
Usually, yeah.
The wrong Prince Charming.
Yeah. The other thing is sort of Hallmark related. So we mentioned a few weeks ago that there's this channel called GAC Family, Great American Country Family. They're trying to like go through a bit of a rebrand, and the guy running the channel used to be the CEO of Hallmark. So they've been making moves, like they're making holiday movies this year. They had a bunch of other Hallmark talent from like Hallmark Home and Family doing a special when they launched their holiday movies this year. They just announced today that they signed a long-term deal with Danica McKellar.
How dare she?
They're poaching her from Hallmark.
How dare she? She's dead to me.
Winnie Cooper. You weren't impressed by Danica McKellar, aka Winnie Cooper, unless I tore you a new one. Although they've got the another Dolly Parton movie this year, so I don't think she's totally done with Hallmark. But it's kind of a big deal that they signed Danica to like 5 movies.
How dare she? How dare she?
Pictures of her. I'm looking at her right now.
She's no Lacey Chabert.
Yeah, I had some kind of problem with her. I remember that. I don't know what that was.
Well, I do now. Oh, I do now. How dare she? I'm very upset. What it was, but she's no Cindy Busby.
No, who is she? Who does she think she is? No, so she's leaving Hallmark and she's going to work with this.
Well, that part is unclear if she's leaving Hallmark, but it is a big deal if she's going to be moonlighting on Hallmark.
That is a conflict of interest.
Moonlighting strangers. I work with Fred Savage on a TV show. He was a director, and then I work with the father, the Wonder Years father, when I was on a Blue Bloods.
Oh yeah. What show was Fred directing? He's a really good director.
What was it called? It was something. I don't remember the name of it. It's not a show I even ever heard of that actually aired. But he was doing his thing. Yeah, he was nice.
Well, I am not Team Danica. How dare she?
I've not worked with her.
Betray the network.
I want to know the nuances of what's going on here to find out.
And by the way, Jason, I loved that link that you sent with all of the upcoming movies because I love that they listed them and then they listed the tropes that each of the movies was
doing. I actually posted that on our Facebook page. So if you go to Facebook Lifetime of Hallmark podcast, there's a link from, I think it's Entertainment Weekly, that they did when all of the new holiday movies for Hallmark are premiering and on which of their channels, and it gave a description but also listed the tropes, the Hallmark tropes.
I saw
there's a time travel one. There's gonna be a time travel one.
Yeah. I saw Lacey Chabert the future Lacey Chabert Fitzpatrick.
Yes.
But I love the fact, though, that with the Lacey Chabert under the trope, they just put Lacey Chabert.
Yeah.
Lacey Chabert.
I mean, that's a trope.
They just put Lacey Chabert.
Is Lacey Chabert a single woman? I'm going to look this up right now.
I believe she's
married. I think she's married.
Well,
Danica definitely is married.
Danica's married, you said. I'm looking her up on Wikipedia. Let's see. Yeah, she's got a spouse. Yeah. That means she's married.
Oh.
So, yeah, that's what they say. They call them spouses.
We're getting a sequel, A Christmas House 2. We're getting Tia Mowry is back.
Yeah.
Who?
The same couple that was in the one about the carousel. A different movie.
Oh,
they're in a different movie, but they're together again? I didn't know that.
But as a couple.
I wonder if they're playing the same characters. Like, maybe it's not about the carousel, but maybe they're the same people.
I wonder. I don't know. That's a good question. But yes.
That's good.
Yes,
we'll be there.
Danica.
All right.
How dare you? I'm very upset. I'm very mad at Danica right now.
See?
Right, well, let's take it out on South Beach Love.
I was ahead of my time and I was mad at All right, here we go.
Fair.
South Beach Love.
So I'm trying to do the beginning of this from memory. Okay, so
it's a full Latin opening.
Correct me.
There's Latin music playing, and we see all this.
Yes.
Those little artifacts and stuff.
And then we see our heroine, and she's at a little restaurant, and she's very busy.
Well, first we learn that there's people are preparing for a quinceañera.
I thought she had a food truck. She has her own restaurant. This is more like a food truck with tables outside.
Yeah.
Yes. And then her brother gets a hold of her.
That's like me. That's like me cooking hot dogs on my grill and saying I have a restaurant.
Yeah.
So then her brother gets a hold of her and then says that the quinceañera for her is her niece, right?
Yeah, her niece, the brother's 15-year-old daughter.
Yeah.
So the quinceañera has been pushed up because they got the Biscayne Club.
You remember some real specific things.
Yeah, I don't even have that in my notes.
The Biscayne quinceañera.
And not only was it the date changed and pushed up, they were now going to have 100 people. Right?
Yeah.
And
it should be noted that our heroine in this movie is an Irish woman that's going to be cooking a bunch of Cuban food for this quinceañera.
By the way,
but she's half Irish, half Cuban.
Imagine.
No, she's not. She was 0% Cuban. She had no Cuban in her.
No, she wasn't. No, she wasn't Cuban.
The daughter, the girl having the quinceañera was Cuban, but the main the woman in the movie was Irish.
But then that was her family, though.
Her family through the brother who's married to a Cuban woman.
Latin woman.
Oh, okay.
I know it was a little confusing, but I watched it twice before I figured out this family tree. Hey, but I wanted to say, imagine being the person who gets the invitation for this this party. Like, hey, we didn't invite you before because we could only invite 40 people, but now that's opened up, you made the cut.
Yeah.
And okay, so that, because I thought she was Cuban because, you know, I have friends who are Cuban, and there's Cuban, like, you know, like here in the U.S., there are Cubans of very different.
Oh, absolutely, you know, there are definitely people of mixed race, but it was a plot point of this movie that she was not Cuban, and she was a little insecure about cooking for this party because, like, all she knows is Irish food.
Remember, she was learning the traditions and that stuff.
Right. Okay. That makes sense.
She's a white lady.
Okay.
She's a white lady.
So then we cut to New York, and it's raining, and that's how we know it's New York, because it's raining. And then
can I just say, I wasn't clear right away that he was in a different. We see this hot Latin guy in this restaurant in New York. I wasn't clear right away that they were in separate cities, and I was trying to figure out, why is it dark and raining there if he's in the same city as everyone else where it's like bright and sunny?
He's under a bad cloud.
Yeah.
Because, you know, they were showing, you know, New York, sad and rainy.
I get that now, but it wasn't
happy.
clear. It wasn't clear at first that that's where he was. They referenced it later in the movie. It was like, oh, that makes sense now.
Now, he owned that restaurant in New York. That's gotta cost some loot.
He was famous. He was famous.
Yeah,
actually.
Yeah. He was kind of like a well-known chef in his field. He's even though he's Cuban and very attractive, he was like gone to school somewhere in France or something, and was like a very famous French chef.
Oh, right. And we find out that he had just gone through a breakup as well.
With Anna.
Yes.
He was with Anna. Yes, Anna will not be coming man. Yeah, I was saying before, he always calls everybody man. He's just a woman. Yes, I won't be doing that, man. Yes, man.
Yes. And he was very brooding, very sexy, kind of mumbly, but that still didn't help this movie.
No.
I normally like, you know, I like a good, sexy, mumbly man, but, you know.
Who doesn't?
Thank you. Did not. So then he gets a call from his sister about their quinceañera. So we find out that actually we have a dueling quinceañera story going on. And so he goes home, and now didn't they change something changed about their quinceañera as well?
No, their quinceañera had staked out their date a while ago, and you know they're calling him because he's doing the or maybe something with their chef. The chef couldn't do it or something, but the bigger crux comes later because the first quinceañera was moved up, so now it's the day before this one.
Yes. And so this family, though, is a little more well-to-do than the other family.
But their families were like longtime friends.
Right. Well, frenemies.
No, actual friends. They used to be friends.
Right.
Yes.
So then what happened
Wait till you find out what the big conflict is. It's really something.
Oh, yes.
It's mind-blowing.
So what happened next?
Well, okay, so they're in the restaurant. Oh, yes, you're right. That happens. So then we find out that Sarah, that's the white woman, she has got to cook for 150 people. her brother's wife's mother gives her some old recipes, so she's all set with that. And then I believe at this point, she tells the girl that she's going to go buy her a dress. Did that happen now?
Yeah. So the Sarah's niece, the dress she wanted was really expensive, and the parents were like, I don't think we could do it. And so Sarah's like, you know what? Like, I'm making good money, and like, you're my only niece. I'll buy you the dress.
Right.
The daughter says she misses her grandparents and she wishes her grandparents could be there. I see. Why not just? No, I was going to say, why not just invite them? I mean, what's the problem?
I think it was heavily implied, or maybe even said that they were dead.
Died. I don't know. Okay.
This is not that movie Coco where you can invite them back and they show up.
Joke. Damn. It's making a joke. I thought I was being witty.
Sorry.
Forget it. I'm not going to give up. There's more where that came from.
It should be pointed out. Let's back up just a second to Tony, the Cuban guy at the French restaurant in New York. They had the end of the scene with one of the most melodramatic shots I've ever seen in a Hallmark movie. Because I think he was like lamenting bills or something. I don't remember what he was lamenting, but they literally end the scene of him like staring out the window at the rain and the camera slowly pulling back. And it was like they made this very insignificant moment the most dramatic thing in the movie.
There's an old movie that originated. It was the idea of the tears. Wish I knew the movie, but it was like it's a great moment of cinematography where you can see the rain, you can see the reflection of the rain on the face. It represents tears, but now it's kind of cheesy.
That was kind of like back in the day when like if they showed curtains, that meant they were having sex.
Oh yeah, I wasn't familiar with that.
Like if there was curtains and there was wind going through it, that meant that they were getting it on.
Oh, okay. It's like an indicator.
Or a ghost.
Yes.
If it's sheer curtains and the curtains are moving, it usually means a ghost.
Oh, I thought you said a goat. I was like, geez.
I mean, the goat could be dead. I don't know.
Greatest of all time.
A goat ghost. Okay. This show's
we just came up with the idea for a new Netflix animated show. Goat Ghost.
The goat ghost.
And he goes,
yeah. That's all he says the entire show. It's a giant waste of money.
I'm into all opportunities. I'll take it.
Right? Hey,
Jesus.
I need a gig.
Yeah, me too.
Please, I'm working in a haunted house right now. So
I'm 2 steps away.
I can't judge.
I'm 2 steps away from working on Pornhub.
Look, I'm waiting around for Rihanna to show up, but it's not happening.
Well, actually, Pornhub would be a fun job, at least.
There's a guy who teaches math on Pornhub. He has a math show.
Wait, what?
He's on Pornhub. He teaches math.
Explain.
And he does.
Please don't.
He teaches calculus. It's him standing in front of a blackboard, and he's just teaching math. And they interviewed him. He said, "Well, I figured I'd be the only person teaching math on Pornhub. I would stand out."
Is he naked?
No.
Is he naked?
No. He's just teaching math.
We should put our podcast up there.
We should Let's get him on the show. He'll probably come on. God knows he wants to.
Yes, please.
Okay, I'm getting him. I'm getting him. I swear.
Okay. Yeah, reach out to him.
I'm getting the math Pornhub guy on.
I'm just fascinated on so many levels. First of all,
I have to.
I never thought that you could put non-porn on Pornhub.
Yeah, I would think that they would have like reverse rules of YouTube. Like YouTube, you can't show nudity and stuff like that. I would think that Pornhub would be the opposite. Like you have to be nude, otherwise you don't belong here.
Right. How many hits does he get?
I don't know, but it'd be
Yes, Kurt, please get him on the show.
That's I guess most people don't go to Pornhub to learn calculus, but
is he very attractive?
He might come on the show. I have to be tactful.
This might be our best sidetrack that we've ever done on the show ever.
No, because we know a sexy scientist.
Well, I don't.
Tim Lee, because you know Tim Lee, Tim X Lee.
Yes.
He's a very sexy scientist.
Let me find a guy who does math on porn.
Jason, we really do know. We do. Jason,
yeah.
Kurt and I know a sexy scientist who does shows.
Is he straight or gay?
He's straight.
Yeah, he's married.
And he does like science shows at
Okay,
like,
here's
the
what I'm
festivals.
Oh my God, he. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Les.
Wait, what? Do you know him?
No, I know who you're talking about, but the teacher who uses Pornhub to give math lessons earns $250,000 annually.
Ow.
Wait, doing Pornhub, teaching math?
Wait, I'll just send you guys a link so you can see what this guy looks like. Ridiculous. I'm gonna be up all night with this show. This is fine. This is what I want to do with myself. All right.
Did you send it?
Here's the porn. Yeah, I just sent it. There he is.
Here we are.
Okay.
I'm not looking at Pornhub right now. Well, maybe I'll look.
No. It's
an article.
His name is the Quince.
Speaking of porn, Les, what was that thirst trap photo you sent us right before we started recording today?
Oh, because I was out at the pool. So my friend Dave Quinn wrote a book about the Real Housewives, and it's like the talk of like the gossip things right now. It's called Not All Diamonds and Rosé.
Okay.
So I was like laying at the pool all day reading that book, and so I sent him a picture of me reading the book.
Oh, nice.
And so as I was sending it to him, I just sent it to you guys.
Got it. Okay.
Because I was laying by the pool in Palm Springs reading it, but it's a really good. Here it is, right here. It's a really good book.
Oh, it's like, I like
called Not All Diamonds and Rosé, and it's literally he is literally mentioned in page 6 like 3 times a day these days because of this book.
Oh, okay. So he's mentioned on page 6 of his own book.
Page 6 of the is it the Post?
Yeah.
But if you're in page 6, that's pretty good.
That's what I read. That's where the Black China story came from today. The one
on page 6?
Yeah, it's page 6 story. The one story, yeah.
This is hilarious. Yes. So he owns, $250,000 from Pornhub teaching math.
Yeah. We'll ask. I'll ask him to come on the show. Hold me to it.
All right.
Because I never asked Tracy Nelson. Hold me to it because I said I was going to ask Tracy Nelson for it, and I haven't. But this guy, I think he's going to get on. And if he comes on, Tracy Nelson's next.
I would like to see him be the impetus that gets us Black China, Tracy Nelson, Vivica, Jackie. I want this to be the thing that gets the ball rolling on all of it.
Yes.
Let's book him and Tracy Nelson, and then we'll start the show, and then we'll just all be quiet, and they'll have to all talk to each other.
The Quint and Tracy
Howard Stern used to do that. Howard Stern used to do that. He would get like 2 callers, and then he would just be quiet.
I used to do that. Yeah, when I worked in radio, I would do that all the time. Like, because there are days where you get the same like 2 people who call over and over, and it gets really annoying. So you just pick up one call and pick up the other, and you conference them together, and you'll kind of go like, and they're like, oh hey. Yeah, I want to request a song. I want to request a song. And then they just go back and forth. They're like, they're like, how do we, what happened? This got in our lines crossed. I don't know how it happened.
I'm really into Howard Stern again.
Okay.
I listened to him this morning.
Oh, good.
Baba Booey. I don't have.
Yes, he was talking to Kate Beckinsale.
Okay. Yeah, he's new with the, well, he's always been a great interviewer. I always thought. Anyway.
But now he's more like Oprah.
Yeah. Well, he had to he's older now. He had to adjust a little bit.
I don't think he's adjusted.
He's like
I
Oprah.
think the world has coalesced around his interview style and his show style. The only thing that was shocking about him is that he was real and would talk about stuff that people were actually thinking.
Right.
I listen, and it's good. And Robin still goes, oh.
Yeah, I listened to some of it. I watched some on YouTube so I could see clips. But I listened to that. I listened to him for years. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I listened to him for years, and then I fell off when he left terrestrial radio, I stopped. But now I got Sirius XM with my car, and so I listen again, and he's great. Anyway, So this Irish woman's making Cuban food.
Yes. The theme of the party, the quinceañera, is going to be Miami Spice.
Yes.
Oh, actually, no, I take that back. I think Miami Spice is the theme of the second quinceañera. For Tony's.
I think so. We got here that Tony Ubers in, sees his sister, sees the parents, girl runs down, big family reunion for Tony.
And by the way, Tony has great highlights, like great red highlights.
That was red?
Yeah,
right.
There's red.
All right.
Yeah, man.
So then what happened?
This is where we found out that the one quinceañera was going to be the night before the other quinceañera.
Yeah.
Which, okay, I tell you, that is a dick move.
Absolutely. Especially if they had been friends at one point. Because these two girls were best friends.
Why? But it's not the same night, right?
No. That is a dick move.
It's a dick
because, especially, it sounds like they had been planning this quinceañera for a while. Like it wasn't just something that they up and decided to do.
Right. They were both originally on one date, and then is it Teresa? I forget which daughter was which. Sarah's niece. That's the one that moved because they got a better venue. So they then took the new night, which was before the other girl's quinceañera.
Right. But the other girl was first. And so basically it's like, okay, so you're not only going to do your quinceañera the day before mine, you're also going to try to upstage me. Yeah. Because remember, it ends up that like her dress was going to be the same color too.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
This is the equivalent of like going to somebody's wedding and then proposing at that other person's wedding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I get why that's shitty.
Yes. So as much as we are meant to feel bad for Sarah's niece, that is a dick move to do that. And especially if you are from the same, because it basically seems like they were pretty much from the same friend group because the families were friends. So they probably knew pretty much all of the same people. Mm-hmm. So basically it's the same 100 people kind of being oversaturated, if that makes any sense.
For sure. Yeah, I have a pretty robust friend circle. Les knows a lot of them. And this happened a couple of years ago where everyone in our friend group they wanted to do a Christmas party. And it was like there were like 4 or 5 with all of the same group of people. It was stupid. Because we were just like, it was just an
went to a couple of those parties.
Yeah. But there was one year where I was complaining about it because like I love the holidays and I love my friends, but this is getting out of hand.
Yeah, like you again, you know?
Yeah. Well, okay, it's even different if, like, in this case, if the one girl, her party was like a week before. Okay,
that's fine.
That's
you
fine. Know, but the day before, no.
Okay. All right. I get it. I understand. Somebody should propose to somebody at one of these parties.
Yeah, right.
So then this is around the time that we find out that Tony and Sarah were actually an item at one point.
Yeah.
But then Tony dumped Sarah. Correct?
Yeah.
No.
No, he pretty much did.
It was another dick move too, though, we find out. He was a dick too. Because the reason why they broke up was because, remember, they both applied to the same French school.
Right.
And then they were both waitlisted. And then he got off the wait list and she didn't. And he went and dumped her. And so that's how he ended up going to France, and she ended up.
And I'm not disputing that. I don't remember the specifics of that. I just was under the impression that he got accepted in some school and then didn't ask her to come with him.
But they had a food truck together, and he left her with the food truck.
Right.
Yeah.
Did they have a food truck, or did they have plans to start a food truck? I thought it was that.
No, they had it, and then he left. They started it, and then he left.
All right. How do you remember this movie and we have notes and you don't?
I thought that. Well, I thought they didn't quite have it yet. That's what I thought. Because then she made, because they had like a name for it, and then like because he asked her like what did you call it, man? And she said she called it Sarah's.
Yeah.
So, but maybe they had started it before that. Look, I'm not so fly on their wall. Yes.
So then, are we at the part where the moms were bickering, kind of?
Well, not yet. We like Tony had gotten home, and he's and I may be backtracking here over something we forgot, but Tony's mom is grilling him like, "Why you've been avoiding the family?" And that's when he like tells her that he and Anna broke up. And we find out that some magazine is going to feature Teresa's quinceañera for food, for the quinceañera for a magazine, the one that Tony's doing the food.
Because it's about caterers. That's right. Because it's about the caterers for quinceañeras.
Yeah,
that's what the magazine is about. Oh yeah, that's the article.
That's what.
Yeah.
And so that's when the mom is like, well, hey, why don't you do her quinceañera? Because since it's going to feature the caterers, and then it could be a family thing.
Right.
Correct.
He drives around in a convertible. He knows everyone.
A very Cuban looking old time. Like this was like they clearly spent the entire budget of the movie on renting this car.
Right.
Oh yeah.
But
now he's shopping.
But then it plays in with the Cuban theme because in Cuba is known for its classic cars.
Oh, yeah.
Isn't it it's illegal to have a non-classic car?
I don't think it's illegal to have a non-classic car, but because of the political situation there, since, Kennedy was president, they weren't really able to get imports from anywhere.
Right.
So all the cars they had to keep fixing them so they could use them.
I have a friend who's Cuban. I stay with his family. It was at college, like a couple of us, and his dad thought that we ate so much that he was going to pack for us each 10 Cuban sandwiches. And because I was a little bit bigger, he asked me if I wanted 11.
Wait, 10 Cuban sandwiches a piece?
Yeah, and he asked me if I wanted 11. I was like, dude, can't eat all this stuff. Anyway,
I do love a good Cuban sandwich, though.
You turned down the offer of free food, Kurt? Who are you?
That's too much.
Save it for later.
Yeah, you freeze it.
I think we did our best.
You freeze it. I'm a parent now. I've learned you can freeze anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now we're at the scene where they're at the farmer's market.
We're at the farmer's market.
This is where she hides because she sees him.
She spills fruit and she's humiliated by her status in life and the fact she dropped an apple. No, it was a mango. And then he sees her.
And he's like, why are you hiding, man?
He says, I see you. By pointing at her and poking her. Right. And he says, let's go for a walk. Now, this guy's he's really relying on his smoothness. Because if you notice through the movie, he's basically stalking her.
Yes.
It's a stalker's tale. I can get away with that, man.
Again, this could easily be a Lifetime movie with a few small tweaks.
Yeah.
Well,
So we meet.
We need Vivica in it.
Well, yeah, but he'd be stalking
and Meredith.
And because they have such a good-looking cast, we'd actually see some shirtlessness and some sex.
The obligatory shower,
yes.
The male shower.
Yep.
Oh yeah, that's always unnecessary.
No, it's not. It's very necessary.
Why shower then? Doesn't make any sense.
I mean, why not?
Well, they take 2 showers a day. Well, you don't want to be dirty.
And then he's kind of apologetic right off the bat with her.
Yeah, because he's like, I wanted to talk and catch up. And she reluctantly agrees. Then I noted that they walked off without paying for their produce.
Right.
Well, why bother?
But he's Tony. He doesn't have to pay for his produce.
I don't have to pay for this, man. When you're as good looking as me, you have to pay for nothing. The character Kevin is gay. because when he is, right?
Who's Kevin?
Because
who's Kevin?
This is the black gentleman who works in the food trucks, or what they like.
Oh, that one. Yeah.
When Tony shows up, Kevin, like his jaw drops. Like, ooh.
Was Kevin one of the people that told Tony? Everyone kept telling Tony to call Matt. Matt is Sarah's brother.
That sounds about right.
And I don't feel like they ever really paid it off in the movie. Why they're like, hey, you should call Matt. You should call Matt. Because it sounded like he and Matt had some bad blood, and we were going to find out what happened
he and
there.
Matt were best friends because Sarah was like, Tony and Matt were best friends, and she was kind of miffed at Matt about it.
Right, but so did Matt and Tony stop speaking because Tony went off without Sarah?
No.
I don't think so.
That was the point, was that Tony and Matt stayed friends even though he left Sarah.
Yeah.
So why was everyone telling Tony to call Matt as if they hadn't spoken in years?
Because I think Tony had just been out of touch with these people for the last couple of years.
Yeah.
I don't think there was any bad blood. And he was just to get together with him.
Okay.
Yeah.
It just made it sound like there was a pressing need to call Matt that was never paid off.
No. And even at one point, Tony and Matt met for lunch. Like they hung out
for lunch. They meet for lunch. He calls Matt and they meet for lunch at Sarah's restaurant. Let's go to this place. What was the place? What was the place called? Munch.
Sarah's.
Let's go to. What is this called? Harris. Oh.
Because Sarah was kind of pissed because Sarah's like, why would you meet him here, you idiot?
Let's go to.
Why would you meet my ex at my restaurant?
And then she says something like, "I'm thinking about starting a new restaurant." I goes, "Ooh, well, I'd like to hear more about it. Let's have dinner." So he's right in there making the move.
Mm-hmm.
And she does.
Breakfast. Let's have breakfast.
Right. So it's like, he proved, just get in there. Get in there, gentlemen.
Mm-hmm.
She can only be so mad at you if you're hot.
That's true. If you're not hot, she might be mad forever.
Brood a little bit because he brooded the whole time and it worked.
And he keeps working it. Now he decides, because his niece is going to go dress shopping, so he decides to go too. But I don't know how he knew that Sarah was going to be there, but she was.
I don't think I don't think they knew each other was going to be there. I think.
Okay.
Tony went with his niece and Sarah went with hers, and they happened to be at the same place at the same time.
And so this is another part where you weren't supposed to side with Tony's niece and Tony's family, but I was like, they have every right to be pissed off. Because first it's like, you bitch. So first, you move your party the day before mine, even though you knew for months that my party was going to be in this day. And then you show up at my dress shop.
Getting the same color dress.
And stealing my colors that you knew about because we talked about it, because my party was supposed to be months before yours, you bitch.
I will play a little bit of devil's advocate on this one. I feel like maybe there's only one dress shop in this area, so that's fair. Okay, same shop. Don't get the same dress. Don't get the same color. But Teresa's favorite color was this shade of green. So the fact that Lola picked that color, even if they had kept to their original dates, in this particular case, I think Lola's the asshole.
I think these folks are a bit petty about stuff. Who cares?
It's all petty.
I'm not a girl. I'm not a teenage girl. There's my
As a soap opera watcher, that warrants a throwing your wine in someone's face.
They were teenagers, so it would be a cola.
I wonder if your iced tea.
What if any of our audience was just in shock? Like, he's not a teenage girl? We probably have teenage girls listening and relating to what I'm saying. And they're like, oh, geez.
So many teenage girls listening to our podcast.
Yes.
I'll bet some of them do. And they're listening right now thinking, Kurt's defending us.
You know what? I had a teenage girl conversation with my teenage girl the other day.
What?
Stop banging on the desk, Wes.
I had a teenage girl.
Just make it a point.
I had a teenage girl conversation with my teenage girl, and she was shocked that I actually related to it as much as I did.
Oh yeah, I could see.
And it was kind of like, I'm more of a teenage girl than you think.
All right.
We do watch the same shows after all.
I'm sure you do.
Yeah, I know.
Love it.
I know who the demographic is for those shows.
So then what else happened?
Let's see. So yes, you and your teenage girl would be watching Real House or whatever. What's the other show?
No, she doesn't like Real Housewives. She says that's
what's that other one? RuPaul. That's one you like.
She does watch RuPaul, but she says Real Housewives are for old people.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I can see that.
And I almost had a heart attack the other day because I mentioned Madonna and she was like, "Who?"
Oh no! Come on.
I was very upset.
You have to know your history. So let's see what happens next. Oh, so the dress.
This is also where we. Oh, go ahead, Kurt.
No. I'm sorry. I was just looking to see where I am in the notes.
Well, this is the point where we find out that the same magazine that's going to feature Tony's food, it wants to feature Sarah's food as well.
But then didn't she say something about it? She wanted to do it like Irish Cuban kind of a fusion sort of a thing.
Yeah.
Did she say that at this point?
No.
I think that's what the restaurant ends up being, but I don't think she ends up doing that for the quinceañera. But she was a little concerned being an Irish woman cooking for this quinceañera, and now a magazine's featuring it.
That's a little strange, but I can see what's in a magazine.
I mean, if it's your relatives, then that's not cultural appropriation. Because if your relatives are the ones that are asking you to cook it and give you the recipes, that is not cultural appropriation. So she's fine.
I don't
necessarily think that cooking another cuisine is cultural appropriation.
Well,
I think
I have heard
passing it off as your own
accusation. I've heard people make the accusation when someone has a restaurant, someone has an ethnic restaurant, and they are not of the ethnicity. I mean, maybe that's taking it a little too far, but I have heard that before.
But these were her relatives, so
yeah, I didn't see that as a problem, but who knows? She's a little bit dense. She doesn't get that he's interested in her again. She's like, "Is he asking me out?" I don't. There's one point he calls her.
I thought she was being kind of. Like,
maybe
he dumped me
at that moment.
You're gonna have to work.
Yeah, I think she was. Her questioning wasn't necessarily because she was dense as much as, is that actually a thing that he just tried doing right now after he dumped me and left me?
Maybe.
Like, you not only dumped me, you moved to Paris.
Maybe I'm the one who's dense. Somebody in this situation is dense. It's either me or her.
Because it was beyond a mere dumping. It was, so you left me and went to Paris and became famous.
I didn't know he was famous. I didn't get this from this movie.
I don't think he was super famous, but I think in the food world he was well renowned. He had a certain number of stars behind his level of chefdom.
Yeah,
he's famous among the food.
Yeah,
right.
Whenever a steak sees him, he gets excited. You know what I'm saying?
I do.
I'm trying to save it, for God's sake. I'm trying to save it. All right, here we go. A steak, So, okay, we'll move on. All right. So then they go out to lunch somewhere. I think he says mom used to work there. She wanted to have her own restaurant, but they couldn't. They did paycheck to paycheck. They could not do this.
And then that was with Ernesto, right?
Is that the restaurant guy?
Yeah.
He sits down with them. Oh, he brings them. Oh, I wanted to have one of these. They called it can chachas or something like that. Can chachas. It was lime juice, and I don't know if I never liked rum before, but it's lime juice and rum and honey, and he gives it, and he says it is healing powers. Can. And so the owner gives them this complimentary can chachas.
Yes.
And then he tells them he's selling the restaurant.
Yes. Ernesto. Yes.
Ernesto is doing that. So that happens.
I'm a little lost as to where you guys are in the movie.
in my order, that's how things work.
Okay.
Tony, it's like, so they have the green dress, and then Lola gets a different dress. Oh, that was the outcome of that. Lola, she decided to get a different dress, even though they're kind of arguing with each other. Got very tense. As we said, Sarah's going to be in the magazine now. Mm-hmm. And then the next thing is they're in that restaurant. Okay. And then they're outside walking. And she tells him about the magazine, and he's like really kind of flirtatious. Yeah, I'm flirtatious, Mom. She's like, "Do you have a girlfriend?" I said, No. Sounds like he wants a rebound. That's what it sounds like he's on.
Well, I was looking at it more of he was looking at her kind of like as what might have been.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
What may be there. Okay.
Or like, what he's missing in his New York life.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Because she was cute.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Was this where Tony had that conversation with the other chef at the French restaurant about they got a lot of cherries instead of cherry tomatoes, and a big crisis until he solves it in like 3 seconds?
I don't know where that happened. I do remember that. Oh, yeah. He says, then cook cherry pie, man. Yeah. And he had a hookup.
And then is this the part where they start making pies and then they make a savory pie?
Yeah.
I have woman runs out.
So this is around the part that I picked up.
Okay.
No. We're a little lost here. Okay, yeah, that's good. We need to get back on track with this movie. Oh, I do have that. Yeah, cherries. Yeah. That's exactly where that happened. Now he shows up to her house. He just shows up, Women love that when you just show up to their house unannounced.
Mm-hmm.
Well, when you look like that.
You gotta look like that, sound like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I can sound like that. Hello, I'm showing up to your house, man. Let me in. She's lucky that your house was clean.
Right.
Not like food all over the floor or anything like that. Can I tell a story? I may have told this story before. It's worth it. I know we're a little bit. So I'm just gonna do it. So I was at a Fringe festival, and so I meet this young lady. We're hanging out as we do in these things. So do I know this young lady? No. So I walk her. I walk her home, and so we walk in front of her house, and I think something I used to do is I would say, and I think this was true. I'd say, I have to go to the bathroom. Can I use your bathroom? So then we go in the house, so that we get, we go in the house. Well, before I go in, she goes, well, just warn you, my place is a little dirty. Well, this place looked like a landfill. It still had, she still had her Christmas tree up, and it was June. And there was a gingerbread house that was half rotted away, and the place had a smell like I had never smelled before.
Did she live alone?
No, she lived with her brother, I think, and she said I had to leave, or her brother would kick my ass. I said, well, geez, maybe you should put some of that energy into cleaning. Yeah.
So she had rotting food.
Yeah. Gingerbread
and a disgruntled
house.
brother.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't stay too long.
Well, why would you? Did you see her again?
No, I don't think so. Was that story worth telling or what?
It sounds like a Lifetime movie that we're gonna probably eventually watch.
This is sad. I feel bad for her.
All right.
The wrong cleaner.
Should we edit that out, or is that worth the?
No.
No, you like that? Okay, good.
It is Halloween. It sounds like a Halloween tale. And then I walked in.
Believe me, I'm sure Halloween's coming. I'm sure she still has that Christmas tree up.
And there was rotting food, and her brother named Chucky.
I think her brother's name was Kurt, which was kind of weird. I hope I'm not identifying anybody. That's okay.
So then, okay, so
just made out with her.
So now, did they go dancing yet?
We had to stand up because there's no place to sit.
Well, after they made the shepherd's pie, he's one of them saying, "Do you ever wonder what it'd be like if I had?" Oh, Tony says, "I wonder. Did you ever wonder what it would be like if I hadn't left?" They're eating right out of the pie pan, and then Tony invites her to go dancing with his family.
Right.
Dancing.
And then so they go dancing. And so at this point, the families were battling. So this is the part that I didn't understand. So she runs in to the sister, Tony's sister.
Yeah.
And so Tony's sister was battling with her sister-in-law.
Well, Tony's sister. Yeah. So Sarah's brother's wife, Dolores, used to be best friends with Tony's sister, Maria. That's how the families know each other, is through them initially.
Right.
But they haven't talked in a long time.
But now there's a problem.
Sarah goes to Tony's sister and is like, you should make up with my sister-in-law. And then Tony's sister is kind of oblivious to why they're fighting in the first place.
I didn't think she was.
But wait, okay, so wait. She stole your party date. She stole your daughter's dress color. Of course you're.
Well, we find out what the real issue is.
Yeah.
I'm surprised there wasn't physical violence after this, stealing the party date and stealing your dress color.
That happened.
That's like the throwdown material.
My favorite character is Tony's sister's husband, who is this like uncomfortable looking extra. We never know what his name is. He's
did he not speak? Oh, that's funny.
No, we don't know. We don't even know his name is. He when she needs to be next to her husband, he was there.
Do you think he got a bump up for that?
Doubt it. If he didn't have lines, no.
No, probably not. No. Probably just happy to be there.
Yeah. Probably got a SAG card.
Yeah. Everybody look for me in this movie.
Got Taft Hartley.
Yeah.
So then they danced, like they were, they did the, it is Miami, so they danced,
You could dance if you want to.
Like
yeah,
Miami
she's really
music.
getting into it.
And
this
then,
is where I decided they were a hot couple.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So then they're in the car, and then this is where Tony asks for forgiveness from Sarah.
Forgive me, man.
And Sarah forgives him.
Why are you single?
And then they go to where Sarah's niece is practicing dancing, and Sarah's niece cannot dance. Lola cannot dance. But then Tony goes in and saves the day and basically teaches Lola how to dance.
I did think this scene was kind of funny, and granted, I didn't grow up in an area where quinceañeras were a thing, but I thought it was odd that all of her friends that are going to this party were gathered at the house rehearsing, not like a dance number, not like a choreographed dance. They were just rehearsing like how to dance with other people.
Right.
Like it was a dance class, but it wasn't a class.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it wasn't unusual.
But then Tony fixes everything because he teaches them all how to dance. Like, come on, kids.
And these kids were all extras because they were doing a lot of thumbs upping. Like there was no dialogue from any of them, but a lot of the okay, yeah, thumbs up.
Yeah.
So then Tony and Sarah break into a dance. And then didn't.
This is a big moment, actually.
Oh, well.
This is a huge moment for a Hallmark movie.
Okay.
So Tony drives Sarah home, walks her to the door, and they kiss.
Wow.
Yeah.
And the movie is, we're only about halfway through the movie at this point, and they are not officially a couple again, but it's a mouth kiss.
And this guy has balls as blue as a Smurf. He is ready to go. She's not.
Everything's more colorful in Cuba.
But here's the thing is too, when you look like that, you're not used to getting, I'm sure you're not used to getting like a lot of like, oh, well, hold it, Buster, not tonight. Because you could tell he has like moves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, so she's kind of like, hold it, Buster, no.
She's got options too.
Right.
Now, time for the photo shoot. It was Stefan.
Who is very gay.
Oh, yeah.
Now, he's a bear, right?
Yes, he was a bear. And he's like, hi, I'm Stefan.
I learned this from Les years ago, the terminology. Bears and otters, twinks.
Yeah. That used to be in the opening of our show, was you saying those things, Kurt.
Is that what I was saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
I never knew what that meant. Okay.
And just so you know, Jason, I taught Kurt this lingo at Show Tunes Night in Boys Town in Chicago.
Yeah. He said I was an otter.
Yeah, I see
you
that.
You were.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I still am. What would I be now? I got to still be an otter. I'm not a twink.
You're an otter.
Yeah. I'm still an otter.
Yeah, I'd say otter.
So Stefan was like, hi, welcome to the interview. And Megan was doing the interview.
Let's say that Megan was not Stefan.
No, but
Megan was sort of the polar opposite of Stefan.
Yes.
I think I see what you're saying.
Yes.
I
was like, yeah.
Megan was a cisgendered female who likes females.
Likely, yeah. I mean, they never actually said it, but yeah, I got not strange, strong sapphic energy from her.
Yes.
Sapphic?
Yeah.
Yes.
What's that?
Sisters of Sappho.
Well, what is it? I hate to go into another diversion, but I have no idea what that is. I have to I have to learn. What is it?
Well, lesbians were called Sisters of Sappho.
Oh, okay. That's it. Good. No, I'm educated. Well, this is some magazine that this is going to be their cover story.
Yeah. Sapphic is, according to dictionary.com, relating to lesbians or lesbianism. Relating to Sappho or her poetry.
I'm hearing an echo of myself. Where did that come
Sappho.
from? Is it because of Sappho?
It's because of...
Wait, no, it just stops. Yeah. Okay, that's good.
So then, now the girls, Lola and what was his sister's name?
Teresa. Wait, Lola is Tony's niece. Teresa is Sarah's niece. Okay. Tony's sister is Maria.
So Lola and Teresa are now starting to feel bad that their moms don't get along anymore.
Also, then in this scene, they step out of the trailers in their dresses ready for the shoot. These aren't the dresses they end up wearing to the quinceañeras later in the movie.
No.
So what were these dresses?
Well, maybe they've got more than one dress. I don't know.
Well, a girl's entitled to change her mind.
I guess, but the whole point was they were doing a photo shoot about their respective quinceañeras.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know. Look, I guess just for they have to. They wanted to put people in different outfits for the movie, and they just didn't want to spend the time justifying it.
I guess. Did you guys both enjoy this next scene though? Because I feel like it was custom made for the two of you to bond. A photo shoot montage coupled with food. It was
I know, Kurt. It was like the best of both worlds.
It was cool seeing the cake because it was the cake was bare naked. It was like it was a layer cake. They still had to put icing on it. So I really like seeing that. It's like watching a cake on Pornhub.
Does the cake teach math?
A naked
cake. Learning.
It was a layer cake. You don't see too many naked layer cakes. So I was, a little. I'm fluid.
You're fluid.
You're pastry fluid.
No, not really. But icing is kind of, so you can, put some icing on that cake. So.
Mm-hmm.
But then we find out later that Ernesto's restaurant is on the market.
Yep.
Mm.
And
Kevin tells Sarah to get a bid in now.
Yes. But then the article comes out, and there's a whole lot of shit talking in this article.
Okay.
Because Sapphic Megan has turned this article for a food blog, and it's some sort of like all-out journalistic war.
Yeah.
It basically pits them against each other.
But
Like that a food blog is doing gotcha journalism.
Right.
This is the part where I kind of liked this movie, because when both of them were like, well, I never said this, and then the other one is like, I never said this, one of the sisters was like, well, or somebody was getting pissed, and one of the sisters was like, well, it doesn't sound like something they'd say.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they were overreacting about this.
Right. So yeah, it basically turned into like, it's like a hatchet. The Megan did a hatchet job. Mm. And then we find out though, so then Ernesto, so Tony goes to Ernesto, and Ernesto is like, listen, Sarah made an offer on my place, but if you make a counter offer, I'll give it to you.
Yeah.
And so then we find out that Ernesto did end up giving it to Tony. And Tony, though, is like, well, instead of, he kind of manned up and told Sarah himself.
Yeah, there was also a run-in. Tony showed up to like where she was, the house that she was in, and they had she gave him, she read him the riot act. She jumped up on her soapbox and said, this is why only 20% of chefs are women, and women are winning awards, and then slams the door in his face.
And had he at this point proposed them teaming up for the restaurant?
Well, this is where he says it was like a long distance relationship, and she said no.
Because his whole and I don't remember if it was revealed in this beat or not, but the reason Tony put a bid in is because he knew that somebody else was going to outbid Sarah, and she wouldn't be able to afford it. So he could afford it, so he put in a bid and was going to like team up with her so she could like own part of the restaurant.
And so she was basically like, I don't need a man to help me.
Yeah.
I don't need a man.
And
I got a man.
Right.
Yeah, no, he shows up at her house, and that's when he says it. He wants to be partners. She says no.
Right.
I think
so then the girls at this point, once again, were like, we need to end this family feud. We need to just end it. We need to squash this beef.
Yeah, this girl's like, it's too stressful.
Right. So then the girls engineer kind of like a little dress rehearsal.
Well, before that, big information happens.
Breaking news.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Matt, the Teresa's dad, Sarah's brother, gets a call that there was a kitchen fire overnight at the venue for their quinceañera. So it's like big disaster.
Right.
Like, where are we going to have the quinceañera now? And it's such a big disaster. They literally call Lola and pull her out of class to tell her.
Of course. More important than her education.
Like, you would think that her mom was killed in a train accident. Like, they pulled her out of fucking class.
Right. They're like, yeah, fuck your education.
Yeah.
We've got a party.
And that night she had to watch Pornhub to make up for that math class.
Right. Right. Exactly. Here you go. Here you go. Here's Pornhub. It's all like lined up because you're not 18 yet, so you can't get in. So I've entered it for you.
Yeah.
So here's your math class.
Imagine like being a parent. You walk in, your kid, they've got Pornhub open. You're like, John, what are you doing? I'm watching Pornhub for the math.
Math.
It's the modern day version of reading Playboy for the articles.
Yeah.
Right.
There's always a workaround in more ways than one. So now it's too stressful, little girl. So the girl doesn't want to have it anymore. It's too stressful. So then the other girl, she has an idea. And they propose.
I'm like, okay, I know where this is going.
They are going to have a double. I can't pronounce the word.
Quinceañera.
And then I had to stop my eyes from rolling.
They're going to have a double quinceañera. The mothers are not into it because they don't like each other. They don't want this nonsense. But
then the girls had to do their speeches and the girls had to plead their case of why they should have a joint quinceañera.
Mm-hmm. They did it, and so then they agree to it, and they're getting together. And at one point, the one mother says the other. She says, "Thank you for doing this," and then she goes, "It's for Lola."
Yeah.
It's like, damn.
Well, to be fair, Maria, who's Lola's mom, agreed to let Teresa, and by virtue of Teresa, her Dolores, share the space and double up on their night. So they actually are doing them a huge favor.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. They're contributing, I believe. But yeah.
So then aren't we at the day of, and then we bump into Megan again?
Well, no, they're at the rehearsal, and the girls want to practice their speech. So they get up and they start talking about how their mom. This is where we find out what the big dust up was. They're talking about how their moms, they shared raising each other, and there's a slideshow, which is essentially a still photo life montage of their families, and then Dolores and Maria apologize to each other, and we find out that Maria just stopped talking to Dolores because Dolores wanted Maria's house when Maria was selling it, but Maria accepted someone else's higher bid for her home.
And
of course
they paid cash.
Yeah,
cash, and she'd be like, honey, you can't even afford a dress. How can you afford to buy my house? I don't care if you're my friend. Look, a house is a huge asset. There might be, that for most people, that's like the asset that they have.
Yeah.
She's like, look, I'm not. This is not a charity. Give me a break.
So that was the thing. It's not only did they outbid you, they were paying cash.
Yeah. And Maria is a real estate agent. This is her line of work. She understands how it works.
Right.
Yeah, the way it works is you don't buy. That's ridiculous.
But then she's awfully nice because she's like, you know what? I'll find you another house.
Yeah, but she didn't say she was going to buy her a house. She just said she's going to find her one. She's a real estate agent. That's all she has to do for her job. Yeah.
Right.
In finding Dolores another house, all she's doing is helping her career.
Yeah, I'll do you a big favor and I'll do my job.
Yeah.
I'll do my job and get the commission.
And charge you kindly for it.
Right. Right.
Boy. That's the big conflict. We're like, wait, and throughout the movie, we almost hear what the conflict is. And,
right.
Jeez.
Right. That's just called not being dumb.
Yeah.
As John Wayne once said. Yeah, okay.
This person's going to pay me cash. They're going to pay over the amount and pay me cash. But I'm going to hold out for you. And you can't even come up with a down payment. I'm not that good of a friend.
I like that throughout this podcast, it's never ever said in the movie that Dolores' family is poor, but we have basically painted them as being really poor.
Yeah.
So then the next day they're getting ready and then they bump into Megan, who, okay, I would have cussed Megan out.
Yeah.
Big time.
You would too. I've seen you do that.
Well, no, Megan, you dumb bitch. You took my words. You created this whole hatchet job. You tried to create a fight with my friend, and now you have the nerve to show up. And not only do you have the nerve to show up, you say that, oh, well, now that you guys are doing the party together, the dueling families wouldn't have worked anyway. You're the one that created the dueling family.
Megan should have been fired from her job because it's not like she worked at a type of news outlet where it's about conflict. She was trying to create conflict on a fucking food blog.
Right. And especially since they did not shit talk each other at all, and she totally wrote an article with them shit talking.
Yeah.
They didn't even imply, because they were both saying what they actually said, and they didn't even imply bad things about the other one.
But what is she going to do if she gets fired? What lower level of journalism is she going to write for the Shoppers
she'll go work for
Guide,
Politico.
What's she going to do?
Go work for Politico or some sort of politics related blog of some sort.
Steve Bannon.
Yeah, go.
Oh, no.
Go work for Newsmax.
Yeah, I guess.
Right. So then.
Yeah.
They have the party. Blah 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 blah. 6 months later, they open a restaurant. That was pretty much it, right?
Oh
yeah, let's see.
Well, I mean, the party itself is a little bit drawn out. There's a scene where the girls walk out at the dual quinceañera to thank their families, and they come out and they bring out high heels for the girls on pillows. Oh, right. It was a scene made for foot fetishists.
Oh yeah.
Oh, attention, Quentin Tarantino.
And then the girl
must-watch list.
And that was followed by the girl. And these may be things that happen at quinceañera, and I don't mean to disparage the traditions if this is something that happens, but having seen this movie, and this is my only window into that world, it seemed creepy to me that the girls hand in their dolls from their youth.
What was that? I just figured these were traditions that I wasn't aware of.
Well, they might be. The whole point of a quinceañera is this is when a woman, basically, isn't it kind of like the Latin form of a bat mitzvah or a bar mitzvah?
As I understand it, yes.
The child is becoming an adult.
Yeah, as I understand it, that is the case, yes.
So basically.
Yeah.
So the girl turning in her dolls is kind of like, I am now a woman. Give me my pumps.
Yeah, and then Sarah and Tony decide they will go in on the restaurant. It's going to be 70-30. She's going to pay for 70% of this. I don't know where she's getting her money, but who knows?
What she did have, I mean, she was saving up to buy a restaurant, and she has been making money from the food truck that isn't really a truck. So she had some money on hand.
Okay.
Certainly not from Dolores' super poor family.
No.
Right.
She's not getting money from them.
Right.
Although they were able to scare up another dress for that photo shoot. But maybe they left the tags on and brought it back afterwards.
Maybe.
Yeah. Oh, well. Yeah, then it was 6 months later. And the whole family, the family are the only people who showed up to the opening of the restaurant. So that's not a good sign.
Was it probably during COVID?
Maybe.
That's the excuse people use.
The name of the restaurant.
Cubish. Oh, sorry, I just said it.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah.
Cubish. As in Cuban and Irish. And then Tony and Sarah make out against a Miami green screen as everyone cheers them on. It was so stupid.
They could have called it Ivan.
The whole Hallmark trend with you got to have the green screen. That's the new thing.
It could have been Ivan, Irish Cuban, Ivan.
Yeah.
Let's eat Ivan. Now we're going to go to Cubish. Yeah, I guess Cubish works. Yeah, and then all the family are leering at them as they're making out.
Oh, that's right, through a window.
Yeah. Very, what's it called? I don't know. Just pervy.
Yes.
exhibitionism. That's what it is. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the movie was boring.
It was kind of boring.
Too bad, 'cause the last Hallmark movie we saw was like our favorite Hallmark movie ever, and
ever.
And they hit us with this.
Well, you can't always.
No, sometimes they tried though. Everybody was. There wasn't a. I don't think there was a bad performance in the movie. I think everybody who was in it, even like in the supporting characters, I think everybody was pretty solid.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Well, okay. Once again, though, it's kind of like, remember when we saw Killer Contractor and we were like ruined for that year?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, we saw that movie last week and we were ruined. But we saw the Hallmark movie, which was like the best one we've seen ever, and we've been ruined again.
And I think our expectations for this one were a little higher because it seemed that in the times where Hallmark is trying to branch out and not be so completely white bread, they've usually been like sticking the landing, and they didn't really do it on this one.
And it was a sexy guy who was not, because you know how Jason especially made that edict. We cannot have a movie with one of the 5 guys.
And I'm not opposed to ever watching those again. We just had seen so many in a row that I'm like, can we just something else? Let's look at something.
But I thought this was perfect.
Yeah,
I thought this was perfect. A Latin themed movie with a leading man who we've never seen before, who was very smoldering and sexy, but.
Yeah, he was fine. I mean, he definitely didn't have to be the greatest actor in the world. Just kind of looked the part. So.
No, I'd like to see him in other.
He was fine.
I'd like to see him in other movies, shirtless.
Same,
for sure.
Maybe on Pornhub.
Yeah, teaching math.
Yeah,
right.
Teaching
other things. Teaching other.
That's my job tomorrow. I gotta contact the guy. Maybe I'll just contact him tonight. Yeah, I'll do it.
I mean, if he was teaching lessons on Pornhub, those are lessons that I would gladly take.
Yeah, I'll bet.
I am legitimately curious how many media requests this guy gets, if any.
I'm going to contact him tonight, even though it's late here on the East Coast. I'm gonna do it.
Do it. Because I'm just impressed, especially since he makes $250,000 a year doing this on Pornhub.
Mm-hmm.
I contacted you years ago just to see how far I could go. I was doing a play. I was producing a play in New York, like off Broadway, and I decided I was going to offer a role to Angelina Jolie. So I did. I got further than I thought I was going to get.
Interesting.
Really?
I did. What happened was, first of all, well, there's a way. I believe all you just call the Screen Actors Guild, and you can get anyone you want. You can find out who their agent is. And she did not. I don't know what her situation is now, but she did not have an agent. She had a manager. So I was able to very easily find out who her manager was. Contacted the manager, and and they gave me like an address. I sent stuff to them, and I think I talked to the manager on the phone, and they were very nice to me, and they just said she has other projects going at this time, but please consider us for other things. So that's nice.
That's very nice.
That is nice.
Yeah. I set it up first. First it was like a real long shot, but then I thought, then I decided I would make it like a charity thing. So she would have she might actually say yes to that, but
okay.
But yeah. That's cool. You could always ask people.
Well, okay, I better go because I'm in Palm Springs and it's 10 to 8 and I haven't eaten. So my time is running out. It's Palm Springs during the week, which means I probably have like a half an hour to
to the Palm Springs crowd, this is midnight.
Right. So I'm like, ooh. I just looked at the time and I'm like, oh shit, I better go figure something out quickly. Okay. Because I think they stopped serving at like 9 during the week, and that's like 5 in the morning here.
Yeah.
So if you want to find me, you can find me at my website, leskirkendallbarrett.com. Jason.
First of all, if you listen to us on any podcasting platform that allows you to rate and review us, we would love a 5-star, whatever the most amount of stars review possible is there, because it helps more people find us. We're actually now, the podcast is on Facebook as well. It posts directly to our Facebook page, and I think some people have been finding us through that, because we've been getting more likes on our Facebook page, which is Lifetime of Hallmark Podcast. We're also on Instagram at Lifetime of Hallmark Podcast. I am on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Big Shot Jason. Kurt.
I'm at kurtfitzpatrick.com. It's Kurt with a K. I've had an offer to do another comedy special this year, but if I could get myself together, it might be happening in December. I don't know. I'm working on it.
Oh,
right. So look out for that. Check my website, see what's happening there. And that's it.
Well, I guess that's it. So yeah, I better scurry on out the door and figure out, when I'm in Palm Springs, I have the urge to eat things like Salisbury steak and
applesauce.
So yeah. I don't know. Anyway, well, I guess that's it. So until next time, bye.
Bye.
Bye.